and tell you about a little story. In April, I was at a retreat sponsored by the Aspen Institute. It's for young leaders who are showing promise in government and the private sector. And so we were in a small group setting, and one of our colleagues in this retreat actually was a Bush appointee, and he worked for TARP in the final days, and had a seat at the table, so to speak, as they were making these decisions about who would get bailed out and who wouldn't, etc. And so as he was explaining to the group with an air of utter expertise what happened, why they decided to do what they did, what was going on behind the scenes, and everyone was sitting on the edge of their chairs listening with all ears, I asked a question. I said, why, because everything points to these subprime mortgages, right? That, that the way that they packaged and repackaged these subprime mortgages, and, Wall Street did their deals, and derivatives, et cetera, all complicated stuff. But if it all starts with the mortgages, why not? Instead of using the bailout to bail out the bad actors who actually perpetuated the crisis, why not buy out the mortgages, renegotiate the terms, and stop the bleeding where it is happening? He looked at me blankly and he said, "But who would pay for it?" Seriously. Seriously. He said, "Who would pay for it?" And I'm sitting here thinking, well, he is an expert. Am I crazy? And then I realized he is absolutely not understanding. And what we're dealing with here is a totally entitled elite who do not understand that the money that the taxpayers are... I saw the New York Times did a... I'm just outraged. The New York Times did an analysis a couple of weeks ago about how much money has already been given out, TALF, TARP, etc., even outside what the Federal Reserve is doing, which is totally obscure to us. And it totaled over $12 trillion. 23? Okay, well there you go. $23 trillion. New York Times was wrong. Okay, if you include the credit guarantees.
$23 trillion.
Okay, it's a lot of money.
Which is why you're all getting 0% on any savings you have.
It's a lot of money. But can we agree on that? It's a lot of money. It's our money. It's taxpayer dollars, okay? And he's asking who would pay for it. My question back would have been, well, who's paying for what we're doing now? And it's the American taxpayers, and we're getting screwed.